Hallmark's latest movie, Merry-Go-Round. Is it one that you need to watch or one that you need to skip? Let's find out. Hi, I'm the Hallmark movie reviewer, and we're going to talk about Merry-Go-Round today. The movie started very popular fan favorite Brennan Elliott as Luke, and it also had Amanda Schull as the main lead. Basically, what goes on is a long time ago when they were young, Abby, Amanda Schull's character, and Luke had married, and Luke just took off, left, and so they got divorced. And lo and behold, 20 years later, Abby's about to get remarried, has this great promotion, moving to France, and discovered, oh, there's a clerical error. She's still married, so she's got to go back to her hometown and do this formality, court appearance, to just sign the document and say, yep, we want to be divorced, and off we go. She gets back there, and Luke decides, nope, I know I abandoned you 20 years ago, but I'm not ready to sign yet. And it takes you through all the little events, and surprise that they end up back together. So let's talk about it. Was this movie good? What did I like? What didn't I like? How are the characters? How is the chemistry? How is the love, right? That's what we want to know, all that good stuff. So first, let's start with what did I like. In the movie, I'll say that there was some pretty good acting. Brennan Elliott, we can talk about his character later, but his acting was pretty much what you expect from him. And as I said, a lot of people love him. So if you're a Brennan Elliott fan, you probably liked him in this movie. Amanda Schull's character, we'll talk about her later as far as her character, but as far as her acting and everything like that, she was really good. I hadn't seen a movie with her before. I have to go back and see what's there, but I liked her. The secondary characters, though, fantastic in this movie. J.C. Doughton, who's one of my favorite sort of, she's always plays the girlfriend or the friend or the sister and everything like that. She played Luke's sister in this one, and she was absolutely delightful. We saw her last in Curious Cater, and she was the best friend in that movie, and she was hilarious in that movie. Here, she really wasn't funny, but she just really brought a lot of good charm. She was great. The daughter, she had a daughter. Her daughter was really good in the movie. She didn't have a huge role, but she definitely had a role in the movie. And the big thing about her was she had a time where she sang. Oh my gosh, that girl, she can sing. And I talked to actually J.C. Doughton about it, and I asked, and yep, it was her singing. So absolutely, completely talented. Great. Zach Santiago, I haven't seen him before, but he was Abby's fiance who was getting ready to move to France with her. He was really good too. He was great. I expect to see him probably a lead in a movie because he was just fantastic. And then Abby's, I think it was her dad. If not, it was her stepdad. It kind of was a little ambiguous. I didn't quite get it. His character and his role, whatever, great. So the leads, they did a good job, but the secondary characters on here just killed it. Great. All right. So that was really good. The basic storyline, we saw it before in Autumn Dreams, so it was nothing unique about it, but it's still a fun storyline. Turns out I'm still married, have to go back and take care of it and find love again with the person who I had this connection with many years ago and went back. So, like I said, the basic storyline, yeah, a little contrived and everything like that, but it was still, it was a fun storyline. But like I said, we saw it in Autumn Dreams, so it was not really unique, but I'll still say it was one of the positives of the movie. It was a fun, basic storyline to the movie. So usually what I like is a lot longer list of this one, but we have to go into what I didn't like in this one. And the main thing I didn't like in this movie is we come to Hallmark movies, we want to see, all this chemistry between them. We want to see love. We want to get the butterflies going in our tummy and, all that. We know it's escapism. So there was a lot of the stuff in the movie where you sort of had to check off, yeah, it's a Hallmark movie, so I'm not going to take stuff too serious. But at the same time, there's something that I tried and I tried and I tried and I just couldn't do it. And that was the relationships in this movie. There was so much toxicity in those relationships that I have to say, I just really did not enjoy the feelings I was getting from this movie. First, we'll start with Brennan Elliott's character, Luke. So it had been 20 years since they were married, and for a very short time when they were 18, and off they went their separate directions and all of that, right? And now they're at this courthouse, and Abby's life has moved on. She's become very successful in her career. She's found love again. She's about to get, or she is engaged. She's about to get married. She's planning her wedding. That's going to be in France. She has a big promotion where she's moving to France. Like, her life has moved on. And Luke has done his thing. He's come back. He left. He's come back to his hometown. And so they're in the courthouse, and they're supposed to sign. Abby is like, shh, off I sign, I'm ready to go, ready to be divorced. And Luke looks at it, is like, no, I can't sign it today. I just can't. And sort of left. And she's like, what the hell? You know, what's going on? And he didn't really give her an answer. He's like, no, I just need time. I understand you've moved on. I need time. You know, the judge is like, you're going to come back in, I think it's 4 days or something like that, and we'll readdress it. And, you know, if he really loved her like he says he did later in the movie Rediscover, he would have signed it. He would have sacrificed what he did because he would have seen how happy she was. He would have seen where her life was going. And to hold off and say, I'm not going to sign this. And I understand it's the whole basic premise of the movie, right? We don't have a movie if he doesn't sign it. But with the other things like that, I just, maybe she wasn't engaged or something like that, or I don't know what was going on, but it was to me so selfish that he was just causing her pain, and he wasn't telling her why he was doing it. He's just saying, I needed time. I understand you moved on, but I'm still here and all that. So I just did not like that. And it just, ugh. And so that's why I said, like, well, if you're a Brennan Elliott fan and his acting is fine and you may have looked past it. But for me, I just couldn't like the guy. I was just like, you're an a-hole. Don't like you. But worse than that, worse is Abby's mom. So we discover what happened 20 years ago. They were married, and turns out she had gotten accepted to Princeton. And so the mom had opened her mail, found out she was gone to Princeton, sealed it back up, put it in. She went secretly to see Luke and said, Luke, you've got to leave my daughter. You're going to hold her back. You've got to go. She's gotten to Princeton, and you're dead weight. Got to go. And so Luke did it, right? So yeah, we look past stuff like this, right? But no, this is just such a bad thing, right? But the problem is that doesn't get worse. What I'm looking past in a Hallmark movie is, sure, Luke could have talked to her and said this, that, and the other, and they could have had discussion. There's no reason why Luke couldn't have gone to New Jersey with her, and, whatever. There's all sorts of reasons. You look past that in a Hallmark movie, right? So whatever, I'm still going. But, the fact that she did that just, it's like, she held on to the secret for 20 years. Her husband she had confided to her husband just recently before she told her, Abby at the bridal shower, or right before the bridal shower, so great timing. Her husband had said, don't tell her, no, this isn't the right thing to do, whatever, at this time and all that. But she still did it anyhow. And the mom she was a narcissist, right? She was such a terrible, terrible written character. Everyone I've talked to in Reddit is just exploded with, she's terrible. But she was a narcissist. So even when she was apologizing, she's making the apology about her, and I keep saying it, in a Hallmark movie, we check a lot of things, right? Okay. But when you're just bombarded with it, you can't help it. And I just loathe this woman. So all those warm, good feelings you get in this Hallmark movie, between Luke's selfishness of really just telling Abby, screw your life, I need to deal with this. And then the mom being a complete narcissist and all that, just ruined it, right? And then Abby's character, and I know it's required for the movie again, right? But she's so forgiving. She's essentially like a codependent. If, a mom does that, you don't get over it in A Long Walk. Or Luke, she starts hanging out with him and doing this, that, and the other. And okay, I'll dance with you and all this other stuff. No, he was being an asshole. Okay, so no, you don't go hang out with him. I don't care if you're in a small town. I don't care if you had this relationship 20 years. You're moving on with your life. You don't do it, right? And her codependent. So it wasn't Hallmark cuteness. It wasn't, oh, Hallmark, I'm going to go back to my old boyfriend, this, that, and the other. It was codependency. And I guess all these other characters just made me so much more negative about the movie that I couldn't look past this stuff. So, just didn't like any of that. Didn't like it, ruined the movie for me. I could go into other things maybe that I didn't like about the movie, but there really wasn't much. Like I said, I thought those secondary characters were absolutely fantastic, and it's such a shame they're wasted in this movie, right? And the basic storyline could have been worked a little bit better. I think the story, obviously, the characters could have been written in a much better way, so it wasn't unhealthy relationships, right? It just terrible. So let's get to what I think, as far as do I recommend the movie. You want to guess? No. I can't recommend this movie. So since I've been doing the my video reviews here, I have to say, this is the first one where I said, skip it. Go see Autumn Dreams. Better movie. I hate to say it because, like I say, J.C. Doughton, she is so good. She needs to have a lead in a Hallmark movie. She's just delightful. She's charming. It's just a shame these other characters were all wasted in this movie because the main thing, unfortunately, they were tied to an anchor that went down. And no matter how good they were, like the dad, I'll go back to him. He was one of the best characters I've seen this year. He reminded me of, in Groundswell, the brother. He was such a good character too, right? For a secondary character. So how many hearts do I give it? I don't think I can give it 0. I'll give it 1. If you're a Brennan Elliott fan, you may like it. You may enjoy watching it. If it's on, boy, I'm hard pressed to say watch it. I hate to say it. Like I say, I hate to say it. I really do. And, I know a lot of people worked hard at it and they did all this stuff and it's their craft. And I just feel crappy because I know it's art. I know what it is. And, to tell someone like that who, I don't think people, set out to make a bad movie. I don't think they didn't try it. I don't think they're terrible people and this, that, and the other. But, sometimes it's a miss. And unfortunately, this one is a miss. Okay, I'm the Hallmark movie reviewer. Sorry about that downer. Let's hope that the next one is much better. I'll see you later.